Let's do it. Let's head to Orc. Because that way we can also think about clearing Elf before heading too far any which way. So St. Rocha was waiting right by our staircase. What about this one? That one's looking a little bit clearer. Let's check it out, shall we? And this should be, for the most part, a nice, easy mode after what we've been through. Of course, St. Rocha kind of being the exception to that. Also, the fact that there are a bunch of blue trolls hanging around potentially goes against that as well, but we should be okay. Perfect. In fact, let's pop up and replenish all of our supplies before heading once more into the breach, shall we? Perfect. Okay, this is a decently tough orc too in general. Two-headed ogres as well. Hello friends, you're stacked to the teeth here to say the least. Again, we should be, for the most part, a-okay to take you on out, but I'm glad we're not fighting all of these buddies and St. Rocha at the same time, because that could very quickly put itself into a dangerous spot. Hello friends, goodbye. Perfect. Ooh, what kind of a shield is this? Never mind, just a +0 kite shield. Thought for a moment that it had to be magical. I mean, look at the pattern. Gold and red, those are my colors. So it's gotta be special. But alack alas, here we are. So let's tab fight just to show hubris who's who here. That's the extra level of overconfidence. The S tier of hubris is when you start trash talking even the concept of hubris itself. Too strong for hubris is an interesting sentiment to say the least. One of these have something nice? Ooh, like the Mask of the Dragon? More willpower. Don't mind if I do. Maybe. I don't know if we'll actually spend 1,000 gold on this. Normally, if we still needed the willpower, or if the sleigh would help us well in Stormform, I'd be a little more convinced. As is, I'm just gonna yoink a quick identify scroll, get the final potion ID'd, and then we'll keep it moving. Box of Beasts, I don't think so. Young Poisoner's Handbook, also not necessary. I mean, it's not too shabby, but we'll just keep moving from here. Not the best shops that one could, you know, hope and dream for. But that's not the end of the world. And yes, there you are, St. Rocha, as we lead you slightly further away. I mean, we can kind of duck around this corner if we do want to do this fight. Let's double check some numbers, shall we? 35 damage plus a glaive of venom. Of course, smiting always is somewhat of a concern, but not the end of the world. I mean, I think that we can take you. Just in case, I will Phantom Mirror. And then we'll start doing some Manifold Assault shenanigans. Oh, do not OTR next to my own St. Rocha. That makes sense. I can Ignite Poison, though, which combos well with your glaive. In fact, that is lovely. Just perfect. Why was I so scared of St. Rocha again? This is not helping the whole resistance to hubris approach that we were trying to take. But who needs that when you can instead just be the best that ever was? Fantastic. Still have one upstairs to explore here. Let's keep curb stomping orcs while we're able to. Okay, it was a good try as we immediately tumbled down a shaft. Let's try once more from the top. And not too shabby. Looks like we won't be facing off against too many enemies here. Yeah, that's it already. So now we come back to the question of what do we wish to do. Could maybe handle Elf. We have at least 1 pip of all the resistances. We actually have 3 pips of fire, even in lightning form. And good willpower to top it all off. Probably should at least think about it. Again, this is a nice place where OTR gets to continue to shine at least for a bit longer. And not too shabby. Even if we get a bit paralyzed here, shouldn't be the end of the world. Fantastic. That is perfect. It's kind of nice because we lose a decent amount of our resistances by going into lightning form. Also, I was confused why it was taking us so long to kill those elementals, but right, I'm using the same element type as them, so it's not very effective. But that's fine. And we don't have anything to identify. Would you look at that? So let's maybe drop those bad boys on the floor for now. And we'll just keep chugging along, slowly but surely. Not too bad. I mean, it'd be nice if we didn't immediately fall into any shafts or anything like that, because that could very quickly bring me to the state of eating my words, but for the time being, it seems like we're doing okay. Guessing this elf is still in front of me. They're no longer in front of me, but they're still around. Let's go with 1 irradiate, and that should finish them off. Where is your summoner? Oh, there they are. Perfect. But definitely seems like elf will be fully manageable in our current state, so I will gladly take that. Run with it as far as DCSS will let me go. Hello, friend. Well, let's just go with Irradiate instead of bothering to go back into lightning form and all that shenanigans. And some positive energy is always fantastic to see. Thank you, DCSS, for keeping our spirits uplifted with those rings of positive energy. Good vibes only. Okie dokie. Not a great start on the manifold assaults there, but we were giving it a good old college try. We might as well let our friends come out of invisibility as well. Oh my gosh, they really just want to keep cementing that in apparently. That's fine, I guess. We can also just do something like so. Keep the toxicity chugging, and there they go. Fantastic. Not too shabby. And so onwards we go through the rest of Elf here. We do have to be slightly careful with those weapons since they're another enemy that is immune to our electricity. I don't like that. Bad time to be marked, my friends. Or not, apparently. Hello? Is anybody home? That was a bit of a strange one in my books. Alarm trap that leads to absolutely no enemies showing up. I mean, I'll take it. Don't want to give off an impression of complaining or anything like that. So we see another scroll. So we just had Torment and Silence left, if I remember correctly. Let's do a quick peek with /dash here. Silence or Torment, one or the other on the floor. We might as well pick it up. Let's get rid of the Ring of Ice. Grab that son of a gun real quick. Ooh, +1 Vampiric Lagitang. Oh me oh my. Any other day, that might very well have been high on our list. As is, though. I think we're going to be spending most of our time in storm form without anything in our hands, so maybe we won't worry too much about it. Let's resort to IMB to kill this son of a gun so we're just not locked in an endless combat, lightning versus lightning. You know, they're always talking about fighting fire with fire, but it doesn't seem like it'd be that effective. You're kind of just egging each other on at that point. Okay, get storm form up first, and then try to kill these sons of guns before they cause too much havoc. And that is fantastic. I don't know how or if the cleave attacks work at all with something like Manifold Assault. You would think not, because that seems too powerful. If I can do a combination of Ignition and Manifold Assault, I don't think that's exactly fair to my enemies. Which, don't get me wrong, I'd still love it. It sounds very enjoyable. But not a realistic expectation, I don't think. But I need to stop being quite so mana inefficient. Just killing 2 enemies with Manifold Assault, probably not necessary at the end of the day. Always helps to be a little more cautious about how we're taking care of things here. And let's let you to come to me. Perfect. Well, it's definitely a nice start to our evening here. Nothing too tricky being thrown our way. I mean, we had a couple of near-death experiences in Shoals, but that's way better than the usual track record. I feel like when I go to Shoals, I'm expecting to just constantly be under the threat of death. Otherwise, you know, you're just not doing it right. Acts of Distortion. Now you, my friend, I do not want to give any opportunity. Perfect. Are able to kill you. It was a bad positioning bit for me there because our IMB was not actually going to be able to shove them back away from us, which is kind of the ideal situation with IMB. And let's just ignite the night here real quick. More intelligence. I mean, I don't mind whatsoever. Feeling very ready to take on the magic school exams for whenever we get out of here. Though it might be a bit beneath us after, you know, the whole saving the world thing. Ooh, this is a bit of an interesting Elf 3 that I either have never seen or just haven't seen in a long, long while. Don't recall. It's like the castle, I believe. At least that's what it looks like from the outside. I see stone walls and a moat. I don't know about you, but that just screams castle. Perfect. These should definitely be manageable. 2 different lightning attacks against me in my lightning form is pretty much ideal. I say as the Great Axe still kind of does a bit of a number on me. I mean, props to you. Definitely know what you're doing to a certain extent there. And onwards we go. Still in a bit of a debate as to whether I wish to tackle the actual end vault elf at this moment, or if we want to save that for a little bit into the future. Definitely get as much poison as I can down on all those dang invisible elven knights. Know just how to vex a man, really. Alright, let's hide here from the archer. Perfect. There we have it. Knew we'd get there someday. And aha. I would like to say no to the door for now. Then we can be a little more free to explore around. Haste, heal wounds, all good stuff. Cancellation maybe even gets on the shopping list for now. Let's finish off at least everywhere except for the end section of our elf here. If we can swing it, at the very least. Never know when an unexpected enemy will show up. This seems like the back entrance to the castle, no? Is anyone else getting that impression? One too many stone walls for my tastes. But let's find something to drop here, condense your vein, and we might just be ready to head into it. Guess we're past Shoals, so Wand of Flame can probably fairly safely hit the deck. And let's let you come to me a little bit, shall we? There we go. Are we ever using that Ring of 6 Int? No, probably not. I think you have a point there. Definitely a bygone of a previous era. So, you know, I was going to say let's save it for later, but let's just do it, shall we? I mean, even the scale mail of cold resistance we don't really need anymore. And there, let's get rid of that intelligence ring. Is there anything else while it's on our mind? Oh, one thing, we should read this scroll of ID now that we have an un-ID'd scroll in pocket. But otherwise, that's looking fairly good there. It is silence in the end. Which isn't too bad. If I'm already in storm form, I probably don't mind a dangerous spellcaster being silenced and just trying to face them mano a mano. Okay, so this isn't actually the entrance to the castle. This is just a little side gig, maybe a lord's manor or something. Who knew? But we'll just keep it moving again, trying to finish off this. I'll show you who the real eel is. Exactly, we're doing our best cosplay of all the electrical enemies we find. It's the same with the air elementals that we all face here. Really, we're just flexing that as a demigod, we do that even better than one could dream. Where the heck do you lead? What the heck? Okay, Vehement. Bit of a flex there, taking up an entire section of the floor that's inaccessible, except by right beside the castle, but I see you, I see you. So, okie dokie. Do we wish to finish off the rest of L3? It was fairly manageable. A single master archer is gonna probably put the fear of God into me, if I had to guess. But otherwise, we're able to kill things off relatively quickly, and we have a lot of undodgeable damage, which will help out a lot against said master archers, but the blades masters as well. Let's take a second to mull it over and decide while we sip our drink. And then we'll see if we want to risk our lives here, or if we instead want to risk our lives in, like, vaults, I guess, would be the only other real option at the moment. Which is still not exactly ideal. So I'll tell you what. Let's prop ourselves up right outside this doorway for a moment here. I'm actually going to take a brief break, run out and grab a refill for my glass, and then we'll hopefully have come to a decision. But I am leaning towards just heading in here and seeing how it all goes down. So I'll be right back, don't go anywhere, and I'll see you in just a sec. Hey doggo, you can join us if you want, but I'm gonna have to remember to set you free so that you can get fed. Okay, so you're not just stuck in here with me all night. Hey cutie. Hey sweetie. Okay, a little bit of rubbing. You wanna come up at all? Come on. Yeah, come on. No. You know the camera's there. Come on, give me 300 hit points and some good rubs. Perfect. Nice, sweetie. There we go. You can be the new streamer. You're in the perfect position this time. Just look right at the camera and just don't get me killed, okay? I trust you. My life is in your paws. Hey, sweetie. Okay, what a good girl. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you. Hey there, Thelphon. Yeah, this is the new streamer here. I'm actually gonna be leaving right away here and just leave this puppers to do all the piloting. Oh, what a sweetie. Okie dokie. Well, that's, I guess, enough stalling. Okay, you immediately want out. You just wanted some love. I see how it is. You just use me and then discard me like the rest. What a good girl, though. I mean, she's lucky she's cute. She can get away with anything, really, at the end of the day. But okie dokie. All that fantastic stuff out to the side now. Let's get ourselves killed, shall we? Ideally not, but it's nice to have realistic expectations. Just don't expect her to win a cat for me. No, I think get way too distracted, unfortunately. I think you have a point there. Okay, let's start rampaging through the halls of the castle. And you know, I was saying just as we saw this that I don't remember this approach, but we did actually have this relatively recently in one of our runs. Because I'm having flashbacks to these stone corridors. Okay, are you fast? No, you just shoot extremely quickly. So you're saying there's a chance. I just want to head to the door, get into storm form, and then just murder you with a radiate before you get an opportunity to flex on us. And that's a-okay. Alright, so this is one entrance. Let's mark that off for now. You know, I actually kind of wanted that Master Archer to notice me, now that I think about it, but that's fine. It's too late now. Let's close that door on ya. Okay. Jeez Louise. Who taught you how doors work? You're not supposed to be able to do this. Well, 75 health. Actually, I should have kept that up for a brief moment here. 32% chance to evade my fists of lightning. Walking up to you, I feel like, is a slightly dangerous preposition. Can I open this? Oof. Yeah, that's a lot of health, my friend. So if I head down, they have to step up. Trying to think if I have to use blink in here in order to guarantee myself some level of survivability. Because if I step one down, in fact, let's go here. If I step one down, they can't see me. So they'll have to step up. And then I step to the right. And my bow. Please no. Please not with the bow. It's terrifying stuff. Let's drink 1 heal wounds. What else can I do to potentially make this a little more tenable? Yeah, just step to the left and a little hop to the right. Put my hands on my hips. Bring my knees in tight. Jeez Louise. I think I might die even just trying to step up to you, hey my friend? Guess I should just close the door again, and maybe this time try to abuse the fact that it seems like they've learned, and they go around instead of just popping into the door. If your last dog were the streamer, he'd probably try and eat the arrows. Maybe it's better that he's not. I'm pretty sure my dog is in a similar boat and would pretty much try and eat absolutely everything that's lying around the dungeon here. Even the rocks themselves, if her behavior as a puppy is any indication. That was on, I believe it was like the first day of getting her back home. She somehow managed to swallow a rock and was exhibiting weird symptoms that got us super concerned. Until she just coughed up that. But okie dokie. What do I wish to do here? Let's do the old hands off the keyboard for a moment, because my instinct is just don't get hit forehead. Take a step up and murder them before they murder us. Wouldn't that be lovely? unfortunately, might be just a smidge trickier than that. 25 damage plus the longbow, 20 extra damage when attacking, and can hit twice. Because they shoot extremely quickly. You hate to see it. I mean, if I'm dead set on, you know, staying alive and all that silly stuff, then I probably just read blinking and head over here. Can close this door, take steps back, close that door. And we should get out of here. So, you know, I'm going to do something unusual for myself and do what's best for staying alive and get me out of dodge. Okay. So, a little bit in the hole when it comes to consumable use there, unfortunately. Oh, and the door's open now, which means you're somewhere. There you are. Okay, I know it will take me a lot of time to get back upstairs. So how long can I push this, if at all? Again, this is not a good match for me, so maybe I should just leave Elf 3 for now. Because A, it's just not a good matchup in general, but B, I'm constantly telling myself in my head, we can probably just kill them. Doesn't matter how truthful this statement is. I'm just running off blind faith here, really. I mean, clouds can maybe do it. I've been betrayed by fog scrolls before, though. Let's put down fog in advance, just in case this happens. Perfect. If there's some reason I need to be on L3, this reeks of rewards will not make up the expenses. Yeah, I think you very much have a point there, and there wasn't a lot of the reason for us being here, besides that I'm also terrified of our other options at the moment. But Vaults at least is a bit more realistic, and we can kind of cache where we think we're going to run into problems and avoid those situations. Oh, all the exclusions I have in the dungeon are really going to be a pain in the rear for the time being here. I guess the alternative, oopsie daisies, there we go, is that we could finish off this level now that we potentially are strong enough to be taking down all the vaults / depths tier enemies. So there is that. Centaur Warrior heard that we were having trouble with the Elf Master Archer and wants to get in on that. Sweet, sweet cachet. Okay, let's definitely just focus down the Tengu, run for the corridor here. I think that gargoyle is alive somewhere on the level. If I remember correctly, last week we just had to run away with our tail between our legs. So something to keep in mind that we may have to face. And yeah, we have full fire resistance, correct? We do indeed, and that is a thing of beauty. Perfect. See how it goes this time, my friend. Lovely, much better. Hey, Rain, how's it going? I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, a beautiful Sunday evening. I had to think about that one for a second, because I always put in the fact that it might not be evening for everyone, but I do believe that you and I are in very similar time zones. So let's try to juggle these sons of guns a little bit, and it just works. Fantastic. The double N was a little bit frightening for sure, but we managed to make it through. And some useless ring mail, perfect. But more importantly, Box of Beasts should be a wonderful find. And now we've fleshed out our evocable repertoire here, and things are looking pretty fantastic. Let's double check our skills and see if there's anything we want to shift around. We're still training a lot of air magic. Unarmed combat will probably just be on the back burner for the rest of the run. Try and get it up to maybe 27, but at least just a beautifully high number before the end of days here. And what else? Kind of want to train maybe a bit more fighting. More survivability is always fantastic. So let's bring that up to something like 12. That shouldn't take too long. And I think evocations will come back on. Dodging will probably come on at some point. In fact, let's put it on for at least just a little bit here. Again, that will train super quickly at that low level, so that will help us out, at least to a certain extent, as we continue forward here. But okie dokie, I can now safely remove all these exclusions. Well, mostly safely. There might still be some wanderers about the level. Some no do-gooders, but that's fine. And what else do I want to check? Go into our spellbook here and see how some of the higher level air magic spells are looking. I'm guessing MCC is not even close. I was wrong. That's very castable, my friends. Holy moly. Well, we may get MCC online. That will help us out against unique encounters for sure. Usually something that I bring into the equation a lot more on, like a 15 rune kind of shindig, but if it's just going to be that castable with our high intelligence, I mean, how can I possibly say no, right? And is there anything else that I should maybe start to think about? Burner's Vow Clutch is always good. Something like Death Channel we could bring up once we stop having places to allocate our experience. I mean, the world is definitely just our oyster at the moment here. We'll head into the next level. Thank you, game. Though, now that you mention it, do I want to take on this vault now? It's a lot of dragons, don't get me wrong, but I'm pretty sure we do alright against dragons. Just pull one of these real quick and get punching. Manifold Assault, doing some wondrous work, and there we go. Again, I do believe that this shield will be melded into our lightning form, unfortunately. Can't remove or wear anything. Yeah, that pretty much is the nail in the coffin here. Oh, it's so nice otherwise, though. Even without our ring that has given us fire resistance, I'm pretty sure we'd be at full. In fact, if I took this bad boy off... Oh, it looks good, but I don't know if we can swing it. Maybe if we find statue form, we can have a bit of a blend between statue form and storm form. But until then, probably just gonna have to say no to the shield. Oh wow, everything is actually fairly castable, even with no shield training. I just love the Shield of Resistance. This is probably one of my favorite artifacts in the game. Not in terms of flavor or style, but in terms of just being straight up good. Probably one of the best items you can find. But again, that might have to wait. And no, Sigurd, we've not done any vaults or depths yet, so it's a whole wide world of adventure just waiting beyond our door. And it terrifies me. But it should be fairly manageable for the most part. In fact, let's let our friends walk right in here. Perfect. When you can tab fight dire elephants, you're probably in a fairly decent spot. We also have some deep water here that we could always start to abuse if things get out of hand, which they don't in the end, but maybe something to keep at the back of our mind as an option for the future. And let's just get back on the road again, shall we? Get that mouse out of there. Stay in storm form. I'm so used to being in statue form that it's kind of surprising that we'll be moving at normal speed. I'm so used to just always being slower than all of our enemies, and that being the trade-off that we had to make. Almost feels like we're spoiled not having to deal with such nonsense and trickery. But Yaktar Captain, slightly terrifying. Again, it seems to be making itself a bit of a pattern that the one thing we'll be scared of for the majority of this game are these ranged enemies. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe it won't be too bad, especially if we can start cranking up the spell power. How's Stormform looking now? It's still at 50%. So yeah, could definitely do with some more training in those departments just to get ourselves a slightly more defensible position. In fact, I guess we're still training air magic. Maybe transmutations will come back on at some point. That will be helpful for if we ever find dragon form, because I know that that will also very much make my list of things to do.